Hi, I'm Ali from Whatcomesaround Vintage, and today I'm going to take you through some key pieces in my collection. So for this part of the collection, I actually have some running items. So this is a category that I've got into a bit more recently, the 70s and 80s Nike running associated items, and I've been collecting and speaking to people on Instagram about it and learning a little bit more about it. Most of my initial knowledge came from the book Nike Chronicle, which chronicles a lot of the 70s and 80s key Nike items. I'm going to take you through a few of those that I've got in my collection today. So this is one that I acquired very recently and has caused quite a stir on Instagram with a lot of people loving it, a lot of people wanting to take it off my hands. And this was acquired in the UK. So this is actually a dead stock 1986 Commonwealth Games in Edinburgh tracksuit that was worn by the track help during the Commonwealth Games. The feel of it is absolutely amazing. You can tell the quality. It's a made in UK. This is actually, it actually looks like a black tag, and I have a Jordan item that is made in UK with a black tag. It's similar sort of era, obviously because of the date, as the blue tag Jordan items and the blue tag running items. But the quality of this and the details of this is absolutely amazing. The pants as well have this awesome red stripe down the side of them. And I've actually managed to find a couple of tiny pictures on the internet of people using these in the opening or closing ceremony of the games. One bit that I found out when I got it delivered the other day was this awesome Velcro back to it as well. I can't imagine it offers too much ventilation, but it's a super cool piece and I love it, and it will be, unfortunately guys, remaining in the collection to hang in the man cave one day. Also with the Nike logo on both sides as well. I love it. It's like a true Commonwealth colours as well, with the UK colours and the Scottish colours all rolled into one there. This item means a lot to me for a couple of reasons. I got it on my recent trip to Malaysia, and I've really been looking for one of the old items that I'd found in the Nike Chronicle book, to be honest. So I was really looking to have a couple of pieces that I'd seen in there because I was so in awe of the book, and this was one of them. I got it from an awesome guy that I met in Malaysia, who had an amazing stall at the fair that I went to, and then he actually kindly met me at 4 a.m. in the morning to bring this down to me because I was flying out shortly the next day. And it's the Skandia run. Is one of the original Nike sponsored runs, and this is TEES from 1982. It's called the Roadrunners Classic. The Skandia run has come in TEES in various different colours, and the graphic has remained the same over some of the years and changed over other years. But one of the most amazing things I love about this is the Nike Eugene, Oregon tag on the side. When I saw that, I had to have it, and I matched up everything, even the tag. It doesn't have Nike on it, as many of you will know, but some of you might not know, that these late 70s and early 80s t-shirts didn't always come on a Nike tag. Hanes made some of them, Champion made some of them, Russell Athletic made some of them, so they didn't always come on that, and I've matched this up against the one in Nike Chronicles, and that's the right tag. This is another piece that has gone way high up on my collection for me. I got this from Yo That's Fire on Instagram, one of the guys that I speak to quite regularly and is a really good guy and has some amazing Nike pieces. And one of the main reasons for this that I wanted to buy it, it's either late 70s or early 80s, but was for the Nike Pinwheel Nike tee tag. It's very rare to find these tees now with this tag. And even though it doesn't have Nike splashed over it anywhere other than the tag, I just love this mainly because I love the graphic. I love the competitor bowl marathon, Orange Bowl marathon. And for me also, the wear spots that you can see on this as well are just fantastic. Like, I love what I've really become really into with vintage tees at the moment is ones that have got that more battered feel, and I love the aging spots on this. It has them on the back as well. It has some yellowing. It's just an awesome color as well, that kind of beige colorway. This for me really screams that kind of late 70s, early 80s era. So it's a piece that's really dear to me as well. This is another piece, obviously clearly none of these are my size, but this is another piece that I've been after for quite some time, just because I loved the graphic on it. So this is a blue tag, mid 80s, I believe, as if my mind serves me correctly, this was 1984 Cascade runoff t-shirt. Again, absolutely love the Cascade runoff graphics on the side there. I love the cartoony graphic of the runner with the purple Nike shoes and the use of that neon pop from the mid 80s, before the 90s was really super into that. But again, I just love the way that this tee looks. Like, I love the almost kind of bleach spots that are on there. I love the bobbling on it. It's all over. I love the way that this tee looks, and it's a men's medium, probably more like a modern day extra small. But again, it's just one of those items that's just going to hang there in my collection one day soon. Another piece that I bought in Malaysia off some really cool guys as well, different stall, was this USA 1984 Los Angeles Olympics t-shirt. Amazing cool Nike graphic on the back, amazing cool graphic on there, faded blue tag, 1984 as it's sprawled all across there. And incidentally, ever since I've had this, I bought a magazine recently, a Japanese magazine, and it had this as one of the focus tees within that magazine. And I've also seen it a couple of times on the internet. And I also watched a documentary on two races in the Olympics the other day and saw this tee in there. So that makes it even cooler for me to have in the collection. They did a really great price for me in Malaysia on this tee, along with another jacket that I had that I've sold. But this one will stay in the collection because I absolutely love it. Another one I have of the same guy that I bought off Randall Bundle 85 in Malaysia, was the same guy that I bought the Eugene, Oregon green tee off from the Night Chronicle, was this awesome tee from Phoenix, so the 10K Phoenix run. I'm guessing, because I know more about basketball than the definite about this year, but I'm guessing this is mid 80s because the Phoenix Suns kit was very much like that in the mid 80s. It's on a Hanes again, so to say to you about the fact that not all of these came on, and actually many of them didn't come on Nike tags, because it was like a lot of these events were Nike sponsored, not necessarily Nike tagged making the t-shirts. But I love the back of this. Qatar 620 is a radio station from Phoenix. My mother-in-law, when I brought this home, said that I want to give you the money for that for your birthday present. So this is actually from her, so shout out to the mother-in-law. But I just love this, like proper Phoenix Suns colorway, still in amazing condition. From even the cut off of the tag, I think this has never been worn. And again, just a key piece item for my collection. My mother-in-law actually said that this reminds her of me when I'm trying to chivvy everyone up to go to Commonwealth Market in the morning, because there's a little clock there. So this tee was actually found for me by the man behind the camera. So this was a very rare find in Melbourne, but Hai found me and sent me a picture of this, and I darted straight away into town to grab this from Miss Brown Vintage. But this is a 1985, again, Phoenix 10th annual run with the Nike sponsorship on the back there. Again, not on a Nike tag, and again, another one that since I've purchased it, I've actually seen this in a magazine, and I sent Hai the picture to show him. So he was very kind to let me have this one, and I love it. Again, I love the graphic, that typical 80s graphic. I love the fact that Nike is cited on there as one of the main sponsors, and I love that it actually came from Melbourne. So that's what I really, one of the main things about this, and it was found for me by a friend. So that's a super cool piece in my collection. Another generous piece, again from Bundle Brandle 85, was this amazing Safari Nike tee. Like, I've seen this before in magazines. It's crazy to me. It's a benefit walk for the Metro Washington Park Zoo. The back of it is mental with the official safari guide. This was 1989, so it's on a grey tag, made in USA. It's probably one of the later items that I have within my running collection. But when he said to me that you can have this and for the price that he quoted me, I was like, I love it, I have to have it. Again, Nike there, Nike athletic department. So this was obviously a very big Nike orientated sponsorship, and is a really, really cool piece. I wish this was in my size because I'd rock it constantly, but I love that rhinoceros, I love the colorway. It's just a true cool 80s item. So the last couple of pieces that I have in my collection. So this is a very interesting piece. So in Malaysia, I went to a market where they were celebrating everything Malaysia sports related. So things that had been created in Malaysia and sportswear that had been made in Malaysia. So there was some crazy Malaysia own brands, some crazy old 80s sneakers in their own brand, etc. And this was one of the things that I copped, not because I believe it's genuine Nike, because it's not genuine Nike, but I'm just so in awe of how this looks. Like this is an 80s piece before Nike even managed to get into Malaysia, and at best it's potentially a Nike licensed item as what they were deciding to do at that time. Not official, but maybe just a kind of a step in there by whoever this was. I looked up Regent Factory, they do actually still exist, but for me the rust spots and the age and the fact that this still exists as, I believe actually I saw one, it's a very short sleeve t-shirt, but I just had to have this as well when I was in Malaysia because it really just kind of it emphasizes that history that places like Malaysia have with Nike as a brand, that they were producing things like this before it even became available as an official brand within Malaysia. And another couple of pieces that I have here as well are some items that I got from Vu Vintage on Instagram. And I wanted to show you this, guys, as well, because it has that Hanes Beefy Tee tag, which is another tag that was regularly used for Nike items. And this is a Nordstrom, so everyone probably knows, but if you don't know, Nordstrom is a huge department store in the US. So this was a 10K fun run with Nike on the sleeve again there. Vu Vintage was doing some amazing sales on his site. So when I saw this, I had to have it. And another one that I have here is a vest with a very rare logo that you see of Nike. And this again, this one's on a Screen Stars tee. It's almost too small to see it, and I can't really, my big old fingers can't get it, can't see it very clearly, but I'll give it my best shot. Screen Stars tee tag there. GBS Sports, but it was this Walk Nike. You very rarely see this, and Walk Nike was something that they did in the 80s. I actually have a pair of Walk Nike sneakers. It was there to introduce more of a emphasis to get people up and doing aerobic and cardio exercise, especially aimed at more older generation people. So they obviously decided to promote this a bit within this race that they were promoting. But I just love that typical, almost like American bar sign of the late classic 5 and 10K kilometer run that Nike sponsored at that time. So lastly in the running collection that I will show you is this wind cheater that I've got. The reason it's not a particularly hard piece to track these down, but it is in this size because of the 80s, and obviously the sizing really doesn't suit a guy of my stature. So to find this in XXL, which is just about the size that fits, was really a big come up for me. It's a early 80s orange tag, Nike sportswear tag. One of my favorite Nike tags ever to have been produced, made in the USA, Nike on the front, Nike on the back. But what's one of the most special things about this item, and I'll try and do this in the shortest amount of time possible while talking to you, is that this actually folds away as a packable. So, and again, sports that awesome Nike sportswear tag. So you can, when you're done with the rain or when you're done with your jog or whatever it might be, you can just zip this up And this is in amazing condition for the fact that it's early 80s. It really feels like it's almost dead stock. You can just zip it up and just walk away with it like that. I love that, and I just love the design that they had with that. So when I saw this in my size, I had to have it, and this was off eBay, and the person was very kind to send it through to me and talk to me about how they came upon this jacket, and it was actually someone that used to work for Nike way back when. So it's always great to have those conversations with people and sometimes introduce yourself, asking if they've got more Nike items, if they've got something else or whatever, and it sometimes brings up some of the most unbelievable things. Some of the things that I have in my collection have come from just that slight conversation. Do you have any of other items that I might be interested in? So that's my running collection so far. This, as I say, is a new category for me to be getting into, but something that I'm really passionate about. I recently acquired a original 70s Nike Pinwheel bag from a really great seller in Malaysia, which was sent over to me. It's something that I'm going to continue to collect, even if they're like barely fitting on my arm, some of these t-shirts. They're just such cool things for me. They're almost like pieces of art to me, and I know a lot of people say that about vintage t-shirts, but that's really where I stand in particular with these 70s and 80s items, is that they're things that have never really been reproduced in the same way, and never probably will be reproduced in the same way as the quality and as the printing is on there. So they're really important pieces to me, and it's actually been a really great way for me to meet more Nike collectors online and find out more about what these pieces are about, because they're willing to talk to me about it, they're educating me about it, and they see the love that I have for finding out more about it. And it's a really one of the paramount things that I love about Instagram as well.